I qualified for the Seoul Olympics, again, because I was Canadian champion in solo and Canadian champion in the duet with Michelle. I never dreamed that I would ever be able to go to 2 Olympic Games, because it's all timing. It's all being at the right age, and there's not many athletes that get a chance to go to 2 Olympic Games. So I felt very, very fortunate and very lucky to have the opportunity to go to 2 Olympic Games. I think what I brought from 1984 to 1988 was the fact you have to stay calm. You can't look at it like it's an Olympic Games. It's just like any other competition and like any other day of the week. You're just doing the same routine. And you have to really simplify it, because if you don't simplify it, you're going to get psyched out by the masses of people that are there and by the masses of media. And so that's how that helped me prepare for 1988. There was definitely a lot of pressure because, I mean, we were feeling the U.S. breathing down our backs, and we knew it was going to be a toss of the coin if we were going to win gold or silver, because the U.S., we were back and forth with the Americans. It was so close between us and the Americans, so we really didn't know who was going to win. So yeah, there was pressure, but pressure to me can psych you out, so I never really... I let things roll. Like, why get stressed out about things you can't control? You can only control what you do. So I just focused on myself and Michelle and I. So that's all you can do. You can't focus about what other people are doing. Just focus on what you have to do. 1988 Olympics was very thought out. My coach Debbie Muir did a fabulous job of every year in preparation for the Olympics. There was a plan. I'm not sure what the method to her madness was. She had that in her head, but she was very methodical in how she was going to go about it. And we ended up having a great support staff as well. We had like science doctors come on board, taking our blood lactate, making sure that we weren't getting burnt out, because that was becoming a concern, is that we were actually being overtrained. So, you know, we learned to put the brakes on a little bit as well. And it was, again, it was pushing the envelope, constantly pushing the envelope to see how far we could go with our own abilities. And but she was fabulous in how she got us to Seoul. Being named the Canadian team flag bearer for the opening ceremonies, I think, was probably the biggest honor that I've ever had. Because I was a kid who just wanted a Canada jacket. I was so proud to just wear Canada on my back. And I never thought that I would be given this honor. I was thinking that it would probably have gone to Ben Johnson. This is prior to the whole drug scandal. I mean, he was world champion in track and field. So I really felt like there was no way I was going to be carrying the Canadian flag. So I was shocked when they announced that I was going to be the Canadian team flag bearer. It was a huge honor. Being named as a Canadian team flag bearer didn't add pressure to me. If anything, it probably fueled me a little bit more. Just the fact that, wow, you know, like, people know who I am. And this is a good omen for me. Like, this is something positive I'm starting the Olympic Games off with. And so to me, I looked at that as a positive, not a negative. Like, what a way to start the Olympic Games, and I knew that I was competing right at the end of the Olympic Games, and if I could end it on a good note, wouldn't that be a great bookend? The Ben Johnson scandal actually helped me because it threw me into the spotlight, and Michelle. We would have been buried by Ben Johnson's success, because let's face it, it's the marquee event, the 100 meters. Everyone, that's the fastest man in the world. That is the event everyone wants to see at an Olympic Games. When Ben was tested positive for steroid use, then they were looking for a champion. And I was lucky, and so was Michelle, to have walked right into that role. And then we were thrown into the spotlight, but we would have been a footnote if it hadn't been for Ben testing positive for steroids. I don't think Michelle and I felt any pressure at all. Like, we were trained so well just to focus on what we had to do. Like, again, if you just focus on what you have to do, don't look at outside influences at all. Just go out there and have fun, and have fun was really our phrase. Michelle and I would always say, let's just go have fun. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If you aren't having fun, then get out.
Last boost, great routine, Carolyn.
Silver medalist
in 1984, now just moments away from what we expect is a gold medal.
It was great. It was great. It was actually, I hate to say this, it was a little anticlimactic, believe it or not, because after back then we had compulsory figures. So it was a clean slate, went in, and I came out with a huge lead after compulsories. And it was like, I've got this in the bag. I mean, honestly, there's no way that Tracy Ruiz can catch up. I had a huge lead on her after compulsory figures, so I knew I'd have to completely blow it in the solo event. I mean, it was great, but I was really looking forward to the duet now, because the duet was really my focus, is like now to try to win 2 gold medals. Because duet is much higher degree of difficulty in terms of synchronization, and the degree of risk is much higher in duet as well. It was great, the fact that I won that moment, because we hadn't heard the national anthem being played in Seoul, so it was just nice for Canadians to hear that. I also knew that this is the last time I'll ever hear this as a soloist. And the fact I also beat Tracy Ruiz, who beat me in '84. So it was kind of, and she came out of retirement specifically thinking she could beat me, obviously. You wouldn't come out of retirement thinking that you were going to lose. You come out of retirement thinking you've got a shot at winning. So that was really at the back of my mind, thinking, wow, she is very confident in thinking she can beat me. So it was nice in knowing that, you know, you should have stayed retired. So it was kind of nice payback in terms of, you know, I ended up beating her. She beat me in '84, and then I beat her in '88. So it was nice. I look at the medal, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, you know, people want to look at my medals, and I think that's great. I love to share it because I see the excitement that people get. And it's all about the dream, it's all about the work, it's all about the sweat and tears that goes behind that medal. But the medal itself doesn't mean a thing to me. It's what's up here, it's what I remember about, you know, the years spent with Michelle and Debbie, and the things I had to overcome. And, you know, when I think back, how did I do that? Like, how did I do that?